Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are watching this from. Today, we're going to be hopping back onto the Blue S2000 to do some aesthetic visual upgrades to the interior to make it, a little more personal, give it a nice personal touch. So let me go ahead and show you guys what we've got for you in this video. All right, so in this video, we're going to be upgrading our gauge cluster to a nice, unique background, So in this case, we've got the Illumaesthetic cherry blossom background, and this is what they provide, along with some aluminum strips to tape on the inside to help with some of the reflection and get a nice scatter for the gauge cluster and some upgraded LEDs. So let me hop in the car and show you guys what we're working with and how the stock gauge cluster looks like. All right, jumping into the car real quick, we're gonna go ahead and turn on the gauge cluster here. So yeah, as you can see, our stock gauge cluster, very orange, nothing wrong with this iconic look in my opinion. If anything, this is great. This would be great to keep around, but like I said, I want to make the car a little more personal. So we're going to be taking out this entire gauge cluster right here and upgrading the background here and the LEDs inside to that cherry blossom looking one. First things first, as with anything electrical, we're going to go ahead and want to take our safety precautions since we'll be working near an airbag. So we'll go ahead and disconnect our negative here. And with that, we'll go ahead and let the car drain for a little bit before we jump inside and continue working. Okay, so now that the battery's been draining for a little bit and all the power is out the car, we're gonna be hopping underneath the interior next. And basically what we're gonna do is undo the lower steering column mount, drop the steering column bolt holding it up, and then take apart our dash. So I'm gonna put you guys on a time lapse and put some photos of what I'm talking about while I'm explaining this right here so that you guys understand what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so coming over to the phone footage real quick so I can show you guys what we're talking about. These are the 3 bolts that we're gonna take out. So we have one at the bottom here and then 2 inside here. So we're gonna go ahead and take these apart. Okay, so we've gone ahead and pulled off this lower cover here. Just go ahead and kind of push it down. That's all you need to do. Be a little careful with it. And then from here, there are 2 bolts holding the steering column up. They're gonna be this one and this one here. I believe these are 12 mil, so let's go ahead and get that off and we can lower the steering wheel a bit so we can get better access to the dash. Okay, so after you take off these 12mm nuts right here, there are going to be 2 more right here that are also 12s. These are going to be bolts. We'll go ahead and undo those, and that should be able to lower the steering column a bit so we can get the gauge bezel off. Okay, hopefully you guys can see a bit of this, but basically once we have the steering column dropped a little bit, we'll have enough space to get this bezel off. So our next steps are to go ahead and pry off the plastic clips that are inside of here. If we watched my previous video, you'll know what I mean. Pry the other one off. Okay, and then once you guys get that cover off, you're going to want to take the 2 Phillips head screws that are up here where they're behind the cover that you just took off. So grab your Phillips head. And then once you get those 2 Phillips heads off, you should be able to go ahead and pry against this gauge cluster bezel here and pop it off. Like that. And once it's popped off, there should be a couple of connections in the back for your dash controls and your AC controls. So we can go ahead and start working on that next. Okay, so once you get that gauge bezel off, you'll have access to your gauge cluster here, and there's going to be 4 screws holding in. You're gonna have 1 here, 2 up here, and then the 4th one right here. So let's go ahead and take that out. Okay, coming over to the workbench here, go ahead and use this opportunity to clean up the plastic a little bit, since it's probably got some dust in the areas where it's hard to reach with a microfiber towel. But after we clean that up, we're going to take off these 2 Phillips heads right here. Okay, with these 2 screws out, we can go ahead and go towards the perimeter and start prying off the outer bezel here. Let me grab a plastic pry tool. And you'll just want to gently go around prying these off its tabs like so. Once that's off, we'll go ahead and set this aside. And then we'll have the plastic bezel here that should come out like that. And then we'll go ahead and move this towards the top. And here we have the background that we're replacing here. So let's go ahead and gently take that out like so. And so yeah, here you can see the differences. This is the OEM orange look, and here we have a brand new colorful look that will basically replace what this has. So before we continue any further, there are going to be 7 light bulbs in here that we're going to go ahead and take out. The kit also comes with 7 LED light bulbs that will replace the ones that we'll be taking out of here. And these are non-polar, I think, so you can kind of put them in any direction you need. You don't really need to check for polarity, so we'll go ahead and take these out. Once those lights are out, go ahead and just wipe down the inside of this place real quick, because we'll be taking the aluminum strips that they provided and covering the inside to help with some of the reflection. So just go ahead and wipe down the area, make sure it's clean. And now we're going to take the provided reflective strips here, grab our scissors, and basically we'll just want to cover around where any of the light bulbs go and on the light bulb socket surrounding itself. So as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 light bulbs. And then you'll kind of want to just put the reflective foil around the perimeters like that. And be careful not to drop that. So we'll go ahead and set this aside as well. Let's go ahead and get started covering the insides with some reflective tape. Okay, so we've got our reflective foil all inside and all of our LEDs placed. So let's just go ahead and take our brand new background and drop it in like that. And we'll go ahead and do everything in reverse order. So we'll go ahead and place this back where it belongs. And we'll grab our plastic cover. And before we put this on, go ahead and take a microfiber and just kind of clean the inside, since you have access to everything already, and make sure there's no dust or debris anywhere. And do the same on the outside as well. Get it nice and cleaned up. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and place this back over everything. And then once we have that on, we'll go ahead and put over our bezel. Just like that. And we'll put in the screw. Okay, and there we have it. We'll go ahead and hop into the car now and just do everything in reverse order. So I'll put you guys down on a time lapse and get to reassembling the entire interior and showing you guys the after results. Alrighty, we've got everything buttoned back up with the battery connected. So let's go ahead and hop in the car and show you guys what the upgrade looks like now that we've put everything back together. So here we go. Here's the gauge cluster. Here's our key. Let's go ahead and put this in. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Whew, look at that. That looks nice. That is a definite upgrade over the OEM orange. Looks very nice right there. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. That's gonna do it for today's video. This is a pretty simple install in my opinion to do. Took probably about an hour with filming and whatnot. So this is definitely a nice and easy aesthetic upgrade for any S2000 owners to really spice up how their interior looks. Nothing wrong with the original orange. I just wanted something a little nicer. And they have other options as well. You don't have to go with this colorful background. They have other color gradients if you want to stick with a bit of a OEM plus look, such as like white to red or white to blue, something like that. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Be sure to check out my Instagram @QMedia for some of the behind the scenes content. And be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So without further ado, that's going to be it for today's video. So I hope you guys have a good one and take care. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.